pylon from NaNiWa. Both players still on similar food counts, 85 to 94. As NaNiWa looks like he's now gearing up for a second attack, possibly going to expand up here, yes. Is going to take the second expansion, the third base, has put a pylon here so he can warp in units to defend it. As we see this factory now floating across. This Marauder is going to die before the Zealot does not gain control of that Xel'Naga Watchtower, but this factory is going to float in. He's going to see absolutely everything that's going on here. If we look, he sees the cyber core, he sees the two gates, needs to move this so he can get a better look. I mean, seeing the gates is okay, but he knows they're there because he was pressured so much. But he sees the Twilight Council now, and he sees the Forge, so he knows those upgrades are coming. Charge is now coming from the Twilight Council. I predict that we will soon see the Templar archives to allow for the High Templar. But ThorZaIN now is pushing out. This is a lot of Marauders, a lot of Marines, and a couple of medevacs. This could be very good. You can elevate a drop up here and move into the base, take out a lot of these gates. Because NaNiWa's army is all here, everything in that base will die. Being very clever, NaNiWa knows exactly what's up, moves half of his army up to here. Very, very good. Charge is nearly finished. Templar archives are being made as predicted. Is making the Templar archives somewhere. Must be here. There we are. There's the Templar archives. So we are going to see High Templar come out. We will potentially see Storm. An armory going down now in the main base of ThorZaIN, as well as expanding to here at roughly the same time as NaNiWa. So their economies will remain similar, with NaNiWa having the slight edge because of that early pressure. Charge now finishes. That's going to make this very, very effective. These Zealots are going to be able to charge right in, ignoring the concussion shell, and do a lot of tanking. Mobius Reactor now going down for ThorZaIN. We've seen him get that upgrade before. As we see now, a large scale engagement here. The Zealots going in to tank the damage. Good force fields, but not good enough. Force fields can often work against the Protoss in this case, once you have charged Zealots. Needs to get these Zealots out in the front. This is poor control. These half of his Zealots, now nearly all of his Zealots, are stuck behind the Stalkers and Sentries. That's not where you want them. Has morphed an Archon, however, does have High Templar out now for feedback. Will be using it to feedback medevacs, which stops them healing and can destroy them. The Archon, however, will do a lot of damage, so ThorZaIN is forced to pull back. Now transferring all his probes down to this base. Now the one thing I must add, ghosts come out. The one thing I must add is that because of the advantage NaNiWa had originally with the early aggression, with the higher economy, means that these bases will be mined out much, much quicker. This is nearly mined out already. This is more than halfway mined out. So this base and eventually this base will become so, so important. What ThorZaIN has to do if he wants to stick with Bio is to continually attack these bases. If he can defend long enough to mine this base out and mine the second base out and then take down the third and fourth bases that I'm certain will come, then he will be able to destroy NaNiWa. Terran Infantry Weapons level 2 now is just being started. Armour level 1 is about to finish. The upgrade's so important. Ground Weapons level 1 going up. Ground Armour already up for the Protoss. Psionic Storm now going down. That means High Templar will be able to storm like a mother and take out a lot of these units. The Marines will die so quickly to Storm, but there is a lot more Marauders in this mix. Storm not as effective. The Marauders can tank it, but it will hurt them. It will mean the Zealots do slightly more damage, and the Archons will melt the faces off. Now I'd like to point out, no Robo Bay as of yet. Still just more gateways going down. No Robo Bay as of yet. No Colossi. Very interesting move. The Forge now researching. The Twilight Council now researching Blink. And these two Zealots are going to find this base. But it is a planetary fortress. There are 2 barracks being built here, so these will die very, very quickly. ThorZaIN is, however, being forced to pull back with his army. I assumed he was going to check for pylons around there, but it's not. He's instead just going to build another command center. He's going to look at extending his economic advantage to that 4th base. Ghost Academy is researching personal cloak, always useful. Means you can cloak your units in, and needs to make sure that he finds this pylon. Excuse me while I go on. Needs to make sure he finds this pylon, as this is going to allow NaNiWa to attack. But wait a second, engagement coming here. NaNiWa is moving out. He has a lot of stuff. 3 Archons, 3 or 4, no, 1 billion, 5, 6 High Templar. I can count at 9 in the morning. Yes, I can. Needs to be very, very careful with these ghosts. Needs to be dropping EMPs in very, very effectively. Needs to be using... You can snipe the High Templar before they feed back. You can drop EMPs on the Archons and the Sentries. But these Archons take so many hits, and now Psionic Storm going down. This is probably the worst time to move your command center here. This is not what you want to be doing. Not when you could lose this engagement. Being stimmed. Sentries out. These Archons need to get involved in the battle. A really, really good engagement from both players. But are these Archons going to be enough to clean it up? More Zealots coming in to tank the damage, but these Archons are just going off to take out the reinforcements. He's not going to have enough. He's going to lose everything here. That is not what he wanted whatsoever. That was a terrible engagement from NaNiWa. His Archons were slow to engage, which meant he lost everything. Now building 5 more Archons. As this gold base becomes a planetary fortress, more ghosts coming out now from ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN with the 140 food advantage to just the 88 of NaNiWa. And could this be the beginning of the end? Protoss ground weapons level 2 is now about to finish, but it is too late for that engagement. And as you see, the robotics facility now going up in the base of NaNiWa. Interesting to see what he gets here. Will it be an observer to spot any cloaked units? Also expanding down to the south position, the 4th base now of NaNiWa. The main is completely mined out mineral wise. This is almost completely done. Very soon we'll only have this base mining and this base. That's why he's transferring stuff down here, such as the robo facility and the warp gates. Still more gateways going down. What that means is, should he attack into here, where there is little mining and little defense now, he won't be able to completely stop NaNiWa from producing units to defend it. Now as we see a small push by ThorZaIN, NaNiWa does know about it. NaNiWa does still have this pylon here. I don't know if he remembers it. Could do with warping in some units and trying to push in. Oh god. Oh, sorry about this yawn. This is a very long game. It's been 25 minutes already, and I am very, very tired. I was up late last night playing Eve in my Eve Corp, which I am talking about because there is a lull in this game. Not much going on. ThorZaIN potentially waiting for infantry weapons level 3 to finish before he pushes out. Rebuilding a factory now. I assume that's because he wants to add a starport and he does not have the factory ready. Pylon here with some zealots warping in, but it's not going to be enough to stop this if ThorZaIN decides to push in and take out this base. Why aren't these probes mining? This is very, very bad from NaNiWa. He's just a slight misclick and he doesn't know about it, which says to me his attention is entirely elsewhere. Which means this Nexus is going to go down. This Nexus goes down. That's horrendous. Oh, these ghosts are cloaked, which means they can snipe an EMP to their heart's content because there is no observer for NaNiWa, which means he's going to be able to push up here. So many medevacs means he can heal this so quickly. Is he going to take out? He's going to take out the last mining base of NaNiWa. This is such an effective attack. This is a great move. NaNiWa no longer mining from the minerals, and his army is going down so quickly. And there's the GG from NaNiWa. This game is over. Brilliantly timed push from ThorZaIN. That was so well played. That's very much the Swedish Terran style of Terran versus Protoss, where instead of the constant Korean drop style, what you do is you max up, you get as many upgrades as you can, you get to 200 food, and then you just push where he's weak. and he was very, very weak down here. These probes weren't even mining. He didn't have any defense. His army was completely out of position, was trying to protect here, thinking that ThorZaIN would be pushing down this road, when in fact he'd pushed down to the 4th base and completely stopped the mining of NaNiWa. Absolutely brilliant move from ThorZaIN, and that levels the series off at 1-1. So we will be back tomorrow with Game 3 of ThorZaIN versus NaNiWa. Again, quick announcements: join us in the chat, irc.funetic.net /gaming. Join our Eve Corporation, Dathmora, DATHMORA. Send me your StarCraft 2 replays to VocTerGaming@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out on YouTube Red Rings TV, a friend of mine who is recording pretty much every game under the sun that isn't StarCraft 2. Okay, that's everything for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank my fiancée for being amazing, and I will see you all tomorrow.